Governor Babagana Zulum of Bornu State yesterday met with religious leaders, monarchs, security chiefs and other stakeholders aimed at ensuring peaceful coexistence and avoid any act likely to breach the peace in the state. The meeting attracted traditional rulers led by the Sheikh of Bornu, Dr. Abubakar, and Umar El-Kanemi, who also represented Muslim Umar. The Christian Association Nigeria CAN was also represented and was led by its chairman, Bishop John Bakeni. Members of the State House of Assembly and National Assembly led by Speaker, Bornu State House of Assembly, Abdul Karim Lawan. Members of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, led by the chairman, Dauda Lilia. The Theatre Commander Northeast Operation Hadin Kai and Major General Shaibu Waidi, the Police Commissioner. We also had Mr. Yusuf Mohammed, amongst other different groups and associations in the state. This meeting is to ensure that there is a halt to the protest that a lot of Nigerians are already talking about in that particular state, and the governor had to meet with religious leaders and stakeholders and all of these people that I've mentioned to avoid or to actually speak against the protest. Now, why the protest? Why the protest? People are talking about the hardship that they're going through in the state, and they have decided to carry out this particular action to put an end. You know, when the people are not happy about a particular thing, there is only there's the first thing they think about after dialogue is a protest. That's a way to let the government understand their grief and their pain. All right, I'm not alone in the studio. I have my guest with me seated right here in the studio. I'm talking about no other than King David Obasi, and he is a broadcast journalist. Good morning to you, David.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you. Thank you, Annie, for bringing me on the show. How's your evening?
Very great. A very great day. What about you?
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been rainy. It's been cold.
How did that treat you this morning?
Yeah, I think it was a different change of pace, considering that we've had heat for a reasonable period of time. So yeah.
All right, welcome. Let's take a look at this story now, where the governor of Borno State is actually meeting with stakeholders. You know, when you want to get to the people, you first of all get through their leaders now. So meeting with stakeholders about the protests and, you know, talking to them about talking to the people more about putting an end to that protest. You know what protests can lead to sometimes.
Yeah, it is very important to have this, we like call it an emergency meeting, because this is something that has been recurrent. It's a lot of things have led up to this, from removal of subsidy to things getting very expensive, and the fuel prices, hardship everywhere. And when these things are not, when we don't meet to talk about these different things, there's going to be a lot of rancor, like it has been. It's been happening in other countries. I think Kenya has had something like that, and they are seeing some leeway right now. There have been some progress. So yes, it's something that they should sit to talk about so it doesn't get out of hand and spread to other states.
But don't you think that protests in one way would actually help Nigerians let their voices be heard at this time?
Well, there are disadvantages and advantages of protests. We've seen that happen before the COVID, I think after the COVID-19 or during the COVID-19, in that period where the government really sat up to say, okay, it seems like Nigerians have now had enough. Let's hear their plea, and they kind of made a list of things that they wanted the government to do for them, and government met them halfway with that.
That's the NSAS protest.
Yeah, with that. So I can say, yeah, it helps you get heard, but still, we could see the disadvantages of what happened during the NSAS protest. A lot of prisoners getting out of prison. There was a lot of violence. The government's attention was focused on a particular place, and then there was an excuse, a free hand for other parties that were not really...
thugs.
Yes, thugs to roam about, and it gave them a free hand for them to... Yeah, so protest is not something every country looks forward to, I would say, because it's an excuse for other thugs to carry out, to perpetrate violence and every other thing. Yeah.
All right, so this meeting is actually needed, and more people should be spoken to about this. You know, a lot of people have been saying this. We've had guests on this show who have said, come, the government needs to listen to Nigerians, especially at this time, because reports have it that we really haven't had this level of hardship in a long time. I don't want to say ever, but reports have it that we haven't had this level of hardship in a long time. So it's biting hard on Nigerians, even though we are known as people who, you know, a lot of times can just adjust. We can adjust a lot.
Yeah, Nigerians, I think we are used to that. And then when things like this start happening, instead of bringing out actionable actions, they start telling us to pray, and then to adjust. We would survive. Nigerians are hard people. Yes, it is true. Africans in general are people that adjust to hardship, even when we find ourselves in foreign countries, wherever we are. Yeah, we tend to
endure.
Yes, to endure and to. But it's not a good thing. Suffering does not breed righteousness. It's not taking you anywhere. You're suffering. Yes. You're not getting a trophy for suffering. So
due to the disadvantages you have mentioned about protests and the fact that sometimes it could be hijacked by what they like to call scrupulous elements.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at other ways that you feel like Nigerians can let their voices be heard instead of, you know, going into protest because of the disadvantages.
I think there are people that are in power that could have proper dialogue with other government officials instead of taking to the streets this way and then causing a lot of the way it was done previously. You could get certain bodies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that could represent each of these different parties. Bornu, for example, they could get someone that could represent them.
That's the funny part of it.
The funny part of it is those representatives are now part of the government. It now seems like they are against the people. So most of the time, the people get to select, oh, we have this person that we trust. Go and speak to those representatives, to speak to the government, to come back and speak to us. And then we'll tell them what we want to do, and those actions can get met instead of hitting to the streets.